Hello, welcome to another tutorial with Aaron. Today we're going to continue with our circle of fifths and continue with the lesson I promised to teach. That's the relationship of chords to each other. Alright. I'll also like to use this opportunity to thank those who have subscribed, all my new subscribers. If you're watching this video, kindly like, share the link for others, and if you're a beginner, stay. I have beginner videos and I'm going to be explaining as much as possible all the related topics to you as simply as possible, so that you can also play and learn how to play and play for your church. All right, so with the circle of fifths explained in our previous video, if you haven't, I'm going to be putting the link of that video in the description box or up there. You can click on the link and go and watch. It's an extensive video. All right, so now let's move on with the key of C. That's the chord 1. Okay, I'm just extending the octaves. All right, so now we have our chord 1 as this, chord 2, chord 3, chord 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1. Now let's start with a chord 1. This is chord 1. It's a major chord. All right. Now look at the components of this chord. It's a 1, 3, 5. Now I want us to play a chord 6. All right, so now let me play the 1 here. I want us to play a chord 6. All right, so now this is a chord 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the formula for playing a chord 6 is a 6, 1, 3. So this is a 6, a 1, and then a 3. And then the formula for playing a chord 1 is 1, 3, 5. So what is the relationship between the 1 and then the 6? They all have 1 and 3. The only difference in the 1 is the 5, and then the difference in the 6 is the 6 as the root note. But aside that, all of them have the 1 and then the 3. That means dominantly it's only one note that separates the two. So you can say that they are related. But this one is a major chord, this is a minor chord. So now we can, in the aspect of chord substitution, you could play 1 instead of 6, and you could play 6 instead of 1. So what do I mean? Now I'm going to be playing a chord 1 here, and I'm going to be playing a 6 here. So let's use a progression like 1, 6, 2, 5. So I'm playing a 1, and then a 6, 2, and then a 5. Okay, all right, so now let's, okay, now ready, let's go. 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 6, a 2, and then a 5. Okay, so now this time around, when I'm going to play 6, I'm going to still play a 1 here, maintain my 1, and play 6 on the left. Instead of moving this straight to 1, I'm going to substitute the 6 here for a 1. That means in place of 6, I'll choose 1. Now let's listen to how that 1 too is. Ready, go. 1. Now listen to it again. 1. I'm maintaining the 1, and then I play 6, then 2, Now let me play an extended on the, and then a 2, and then a 5. Now let me play the original one, then I move to 6, then a 5, then the substitution. Alright, now there's something that you would have realized. When I play one like this and then I come and play, I get my minor 7 that I've been teaching you. So the formation of the minor 7th chord came about using a chord substitution. That is, using a relative major and a minor together will give you the 7th chord. So for example, this is my 1. If I use its relative minor, which has 2 dominant keys or dominant notes, as in is dominant, 2 of them here. So instead of 6, I can just play my 1 chord here and then 6 on the left. Now you can also swap it. That is, if I'm playing a 6, a 1, and then a 6 like this. So I'm playing a 1, but I decided to play a 6 like this. You're getting it, right? All right. So every one of them has its place in music, and as time goes on, you keep on learning. You find some of them that play a C6, F6, or play a minor. If you understand these things, you'll be able to substitute. Now let's move on to the next key. Let's use major keys and then find their relative minors. All right. Now let's move on to the 4th chord, which is F. Now the formation of the F chord, or the chord 4, rather chord 4, in every chord 4, 4 per the triad, this lesson that we're doing, it's a 4 6 1 4 6 1 4 6 1. So let me play the 4 6 1 here. Okay, no, still I can still play it here. All right, now what is going to be its relative minor in this scale? Now let's look for a chord 2. This is a chord, a note 2. If I'm forming the chord, this is a chord 2. It's a 2 4 6. So playing the 2, you realize that the dominant notes in them are the F and then A. That means that a chord 4 and a chord 2 are related, and you can replace each and every one of them for each other. So in the place of 4, you can play 2. In the place of 2, you can play 4. All right, so now let's use that same chord progression. 1 1, and then a 6 2 5. So now we're going to be substituting only the chord 4 for chord 2 for 4. Now let's listen to it. Okay, so 1, this is a normal one, 6, and then a 2, and then a 5. Now let's substitute 1 6, and then a 4. Okay, so 1 6. Okay, then I'll play 2 here and then a 4 here. Okay, then listen to it carefully. 1 6. This one is still going to play the 2, and this is going to play 1, and then 6. All right, back. So in chord substitution, you can play one over the other. You can choose to, for the case of 2 and 4, you can play all the 4 here and then a 5. So instead of 2 and then a 4 like this, you can still play the 4 here. But in this case, we are trying to find out how chords are related to each other, and why most of the times you could clearly see that this progression is a 2, but you are seeing the person playing 4, and you're like, what? Okay, so now let's turn it and see something like a 1 and then a 6. This one will play 2 and this one will play 4. I seen it. Here's where we get the minor 7th, adding a major and then a minor. Okay, so 1, 6, okay, then you do. Alright, so our next relative chords, we're going to be doing let's say we've done 1 and 6, we've done 4 and 2, so it's definitely left with the 5. Okay, so now this is our chord 5. Now 5 is related to 3, or the third chord. So now let's form our chord 3 on the left. Chord 5 is 5, 7, 2. So 5, 7, 2, and the third chord is a 3, 5, 7. So what are the dominant keys in these two? Okay, we have the G and then the B, which is 5 and 7. So 5 and 7 are dominant in these two chords, making them related to each other. The only differences is the root note, making this one 3, and then the extension of this root note, which is 2, making it 5. Alright, so how do you substitute this chord? We're going to be playing okay, so let's see, 6, 5, 4. Now let's do something. When we play the 6 and then we're going to be playing the 5, we're going to play the 5 here, then play 3 here, and then listen to it. So this is how it goes. 6, 5. Now let's go. 6, 5, 4. Now let's do substitution. 6, 5, 4. Now listen, instead of the 5 I played a 3. Now listen to it again. 6. So this is 5, this is 3. Ready, go. Alright, so this is what I'm talking about. Because they are related, you can add them together and get a different kind of sound that is much richer. So that is the whole concept of chord substitution. They are sounds that are similar to each other because of their composition, and you can use them together, or you can use one to replace the other. So the recap of this lesson is chord 1 has its relative minor to be a chord 6. So chord 6, which is a minor, has its relative major as chord 1. Now chord 4 also has its relative minor to be a chord 2. Then the 5 also has its relative minor to be a chord 3. Now if you pick any key, some people learn it off head, like A has its relative minor to be F sharp, C is A flat, A minor, like that. C is A minor, F is D minor, and then A is F sharp minor. They learn it like that. But if you want to make it easy for you, learn the scale and then the chords of a key. The composition, like a chord 1 is a major, chord 2 is a minor, chord 3 minor, chord 4 is a major, 5 is a major, 6 is a minor, 7 is a diminished. Then immediately you know which ones are related to each other. You know that 1 is a 6, 4 is a 2, and then 5 is a 3. You are good to go. You can blend the two of them, you can play around them to see how they sound, and it will improve upon your play. Alright, so thank you for being a part of this tutorial, and you can do chord substitution for all the 3 that I taught you. So for example, if you're playing a 1, you can play a 1 and a 6. So like 1, then if you're moving to, most of the times if you are moving to the minor, okay, that's where you do the substitution. So let's do it like this and see. I'm moving to 6, which is a minor. Then for the 2, I play like this. Then for a 5, I can play 5 over 5 because it's a major. But let's play a minor and see. It will give you the sound of the third. So in order for you to kind of play around, you can either play your 5 here and then you play a 3 here. Alright, so let's look at it. So 1, okay, then okay, like this. It's still gonna work because at this stage you are trying to play around the chords to see how they work. Alright, so when you are moving to a minor, okay, you can still play its relative major on the right and then the minor on the left. So if you have 1 and I'm moving to a 6, which is a minor, I'll maintain the 1 and then I play a 6 on the left. If I'm moving to 2, I know 2 is a minor, so I'll play its relative major on the right and then I'll play the actual chord on the left. Now if I'm moving to a major, let me play the actual chord on the left and then try to play its relative minor on the right, like this. And that is how you start with chord substitution. Alright, so thank you for being a part of this tutorial. God bless you. See you in the next. Bye bye.